Yeah. Speak.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get it started. Today, another day, just another day at the voice of the underground, at the Moroji's podcast. You know what, ladies and gentlemen, this has been going on, and I promise you that, you know, we'll be unraveling all of the talent in this part of the world, South Africa, Africa, you know, and that's exactly what we promise you, and that's exactly what we'll be bringing you. And today, it's a very special day, just another special day. You know why that is? You know why is that? This is cause, the talent that I've got here today, it's not your usual talent. You know, she's got massive bundle of talent in the business circle. You know what I call this today? This is spotlight on the voice of the underground. Her voice need to be heard. Her business need to be put out there. And y'all need to know this lady. She is classy like that. She's supernatural like that. She's got all of the bundles of skills in running a business. You've got to take a trip to Club Neh in Johannesburg, South Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Leah.
Hi.
How you?
What an introduction, my word. How are you doing?
I'm good, Leah, and you?
I'm doing great. Thank
Leah,
you.
man, a couple of times, I pop by your club, and the things that I saw there, the level of entertainment and the things that you put together is that, I just couldn't comprehend, like, it's someone like you.
I know. People walk past me all the time,
I mean,
and then
man.
they have to come back to me. I know.
All right, Leah. Who's Leah?
My name is Leah Mutswiri.
All right.
Originally born in Botswana, but I came to South Africa at a tender age of 5.
All right.
And I went to school. I stayed in Alexandra Township.
Okay.
I was raised there. I went to all the schools there. I went to varsity in Rao. Back in the days, it was called Rao.
Okay.
Now it's UJ, University of Johannesburg.
Okay.
Dropped out because my mom got ill, and then I got a banking learnership. So I worked for the bank straight after that.
All right.
And I must say, I have been working for 20 years.
Wow.
Because I started working when I was 14, literally selling by the book. And from selling by the book, I got a job in a boutique. From the boutique, I got a job as a waitress. So, I have been doing all those chores after school. And I think that's where my love for entrepreneurship comes from.
All right, Leah.
And now I'm at Club Neh.
Wow, no doubt about that. No doubt about that. Leah, man, can you just tell us a little bit about your childhood? How did you? How because a couple of people would like to understand that because we know we're getting there. Getting into the business space and all that. Because when we start opening up the business issues, people will be wondering, how did you manage to acquire all of these skills and all with that kind of, I don't know, it's something else. How was your childhood?
I must say, I grew up very tough. If anyone knows Alexander Township, you will know that there's more people than there is food. So in one household, you can get about 10 people staying in there. So I was lucky because I just grew up with my mom alone. And it was tough. She didn't have a job. I remember at a tender age of about 10, I started approaching, white women and asking them for my mom to get a job so that my mom can work for them. But, and then over time, I realized that I can actually look for my own, something that I can do. And then I approached my vice principal in school and I said, listen, this is the situation at home. I'm not looking for handouts, but I'm looking for something that I can do. and he approached a friend of his. I was selling honey jewelry. It's jewelry by the book. So
Wow.
that's where my entire journey started at the age of 14.
Wow.
So I was walking street by street, showing people the jewelry on the book,
Wow.
and placing orders, getting a certain percentage back, and paying in.
I see that.
And then over time, that wasn't enough. Then I started going to look for more.
You know what, Leah? With this little explanation that you've just done, I'm gonna once again welcome you to the spotlight on Voice of the Underground.
Thank you.
On the Morgis podcast.
Thank you.
All right. So no doubt you started very early, right? In the business world. What did you study in the university?
I studied BCom accounting.
All right.
And when I was still studying in the first year, my mom then passed on. So I was the only person that was there, and luckily I had saved enough for the next year after that.
All right.
So I single-handedly buried her.
Wow.
Yeah, and now I had no money anymore. So by the grace of God, I got the learnership forms by one of the SETAs. And I got accepted, and because I truly believe in education.
All right.
So I was like, okay, not all is lost. What else can I do? Because all the money has now gone to the funeral, to the burial of my mom. And then, I got on, before the learnership ended, I got offered the position there. I was working in the legal department of ABSA, and I worked there for 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so...
Quite
And I still continued with my BCom because now the bank could pay for me, and I did something else as well.
I can see that, when you know why? Because your history is kind of interesting. Because when you're coming through, it's like, do you have siblings? Because I can see that there are a lot of struggles and a lot of things that you've passed through as a kid, and you try to make ends meet and all that. How about your siblings?
When I came to South Africa, it's me and my brother.
All
my
right.
brother is based in Botswana.
Okay.
And then I came this side, but there wasn't a strong relationship between us.
Okay.
So and everyone else at home. So I literally was left alone when my mom passed on. I am forging those relationships now as a grown up, and I'm meeting. Last week I met my cousin for the first time. I was like, okay. So I'm forging those relationships and trying to get to know my family. I met my dad for the first time last year. So it's all coming together. I was talking to my brother yesterday, but there was a very big gap between us. There was no communication with all the other family.
Wow, no doubt about your energy. Tell us how it felt when you met your dad for the first time.
Yeah, he was like, he's an amazing man.
Like lost and found or something.
Yeah, he's an amazing man. So here am I with my brother. We're going to a village. He's seen him, but it's not like they were
Like close.
close,
like that. Okay.
So we looked all over around the village, and then eventually someone said, no, he's at the church somewhere. And from a distance, I saw this man.
And you saw yourself.
And I saw myself.
Wow.
What a beautiful feeling.
Wow.
What a beautiful feeling.
Wow. That's great. And this is supposedly in Botswana?
In Botswana, yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right, good. So now, let's say, just tell us a little bit. I know you work at apps or something.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, just give us a paint a little bit of picture. Like, how was that like, and the whole of that 3 years or something that you how was that like, and how much did you learn there that you took out to move forward with or something?
I think ABSA was very interesting, and I'll tell you why. I was the youngest person working in that department. In the legal department, you work with qualified attorneys and things like that. So I was the youngest person there, and I got a very dead book, if I can call it that, where they couldn't collect money on those accounts at all. And I revived that book, and I could make the bank money. I was really bringing life to the book. I was increasing turnover. I was getting awards left, right, and center.
Wow.
And to the point when I had to leave, like the MD sat down with me and said, Leah, what do you want? And I said, but it's time for change. And I learned a lot because, we see people drive cars, have houses, big houses and whatnot, and we all want to get there. But at that age, it was very important for me to start there because I was calling people that was driving all those cars and they couldn't make payments on them. They couldn't afford their lives. There's people that, I had to have mercy on because they can't pay for their houses. Their husbands has passed on. And in the black community, that education is lacking.
Okay.
They think if a person passed on, then the debt goes away. So you have to educate them. So it was a beautiful opportunity to see life at that age, what we see and what the reality of the things is.
On the ground, yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Leah, no doubt, man. You worth the spotlight, man. You definitely worth the spotlight.
Okay.
Good. Now let's now let's come back home because now there's this thing called Club Neh. What is Club Neh?
Okay, so now Club Neh, how it came about, maybe if I can just track it a little bit back. So after APSA, I went and I worked for a company called Sage Pastel for 10 years.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That will be. Just hold it right there. Hold that thought right there.
Okay.
Nobody knew about that because you see, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
At the voice of the underground,
Okay.
right here, we don't want to hold anything back.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
This is a spotlight.
I hear you.
The thing is that, a couple of people who are in this industry, this business, especially when the people they're young and all those things, people have perceptions. If you're a musician and you get on top of the chart every time, people have perceptions. If you're in business just like you are and you're making progress, people have perceptions.
Yes.
So we just want to use this opportunity to maybe put everything out there so people can understand. Other people, they actually learn from it.
Yeah,
They learn from it. Because right now you left APSA, 3 years at APSA, then you went over to Sage. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah, I believe maybe your fans and the people that are associated with your business or who want to be associated with your business would definitely want to hear about that too.
My story.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, no, so it was a beautiful 10 years.
Right.
It was amazing. It was a small company at that time when I started, and there was lots of energy. We dealt with software.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's accounting software and client relationship and things like that. So we had targets. I also used to win a lot of awards there in terms of sales and other awards, like your fashion awards and things like that. It was a fun company to be with and to work at. 10 years later, something personal in my life happened. I divorced my husband, and I felt like it was time for me to move on. So I resigned at that point, and then I actually wanted to stay home and mope and cry and hope to God that I wake up dead. You go through all these things because I was with this person for 15 years.
Okay.
So it was almost like a near-death experience to go through that.
I can understand
And oh, God said, no, you're going back to work. And then within 2 weeks, I had been headhunted to go work for a professional placement company in Bryanston. I worked there for 2 months. Before long, I got headhunted again by the company that I left before I started Club Neh, Caseware, which is also an international company that deals with software for auditors.
All right.
And I was there for a good 3 years. It was a very sad day when I left them last year to start this opportunity of Club Neh.
Wow. I can see that. In fact, professionally, you got a lot of history, at a tender age, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
So how did you get started with Club Neh, or what is Club Neh in the first place?
Okay, so now
Maybe we
Club
can
Neh.
even, yeah, maybe we can even go to know. Let's get to know Club Neh before we get to how we get started.
Okay,
Yes.
so the Club Neh, the it's a restaurant. It's popularly known as Club Neh.
All right.
But actually, as soon as I got on board, I have been marketing it as Neh Restaurant.
All right.
Because I have a passion for food. And I want people to associate it with food. I want people to associate it with relaxation, with having fun, So I started in October. I left my place of employment in September.
All right.
And I started in October. As soon as I got on board, I started marketing it to corporates because it's a huge space which can take up to 500 people at a time.
Wow.
Yeah, so I got the likes of F&B. They had a entrepreneurs summit.
Okay.
I think that was a big one that I had. I think there was about 100 people.
Okay.
And it started in the morning until evening, so it was almost like a conference type.
It's that kind of something.
Yes.
Okay.
So those are the kind of services that we provide. Your conferences, your business seminars, your motivation seminars, things like that. There's enough space and capacity to host those.
Okay.
And our biggest client at that point was in November was DHV. It's a civil engineering company, and there was 180 people that had their year-end function with us. It was absolutely amazing. I got the likes of Mercedes-Benz, Nedbank, Mr. Price, Alex Clinic, Metro Cops. So it was quite busy.
Wow.
October, November, December was busy. We've got companies that surround us. One of them is Safa Juice. They also had about 100 people that came through for their year-end function.
Wow.
And it's really been an amazing time and an energy.
I feel it. I feel
So
it.
we started with a bang.
I feel it.
We
I
started
feel
with a
it. I
bang.
feel it.
Yeah.
I'm already infected by that energy already. Tell us a little bit about your love for food, because you talk about the restaurant and all those things. Because from your background, you've been painting the background, a corporate professional.
Yes.
So how did you manage to come into the food space and be able to get organized in that space, like restaurant thing? How you get it going?
When the opportunity came to the table, a friend of mine came through and said, listen, let us try and do this. Let's do Club Neh. And I think I only took a day because I know my love for food. I know my love for people. I know my patience, my perseverance. I know my energies, And I was one of those people, even in the corporate space. I would cook for everyone and bring food.
All right.
And if you visit my house, my friends will tell you that they will have more than 3 or 4 dishes. And they will know that for sure if we go to Leah's house, hey, we're going to
something
eat.
to eat there.
Yes.
All
So
right.
I've got a passion for food and I've got a passion for people and making sure that people are happy. And when it came on board, it seemed it really was an opportunity that tied in with who I am as a person.
Okay.
And the brevity and the courage that I had mastered through life's experiences that I can do this.
All right. Speaking of restaurant, let's talk about a restaurant a little bit. All right.
Okay.
What is that you offer at that massive restaurant?
Okay, so a lot of people, and I've had also tourists come through because it's next to Alex. Tourists come through to taste, to go through a tour. In Alex, there's a place where Nelson Mandela used to stay, and it's now one of the heritage sites. And people go there to see. It's a museum type of setup.
Okay.
So, and then from there they look for a place to eat the type of food that Alexander people eat. So the restaurant is based around that concept.
Okay.
The Gogo's food, your traditional meals, your tribe, we call it mohodu.
All right.
Your cow's heels, we call that manqina. And all of that it's got a twist of a cosmopolitan touch to it. Yes. So we've got your Neh dishes and we've got your original dishes. So all the other dishes, traditional traditional dishes, they come with the Neh twist, where we can get your mohodu or your tripe mixed with mushrooms and spinach, you know, and you get your dumplings, you get your pap. We also do shisanyama, which is a
right.
very big thing as well. People, we like to braai meat and things like that.
I was
So,
going to ask about that.
okay.
Yeah, like
All right.
does people come through, they buy this meat and they buy same spot, same space, same spot, same time, and all that. So you have all of those.
Yes.
All right, and from the list that I'm seeing here, it says like, there's you taking to the market mohodu,
Yes.
motwana,
Yeah, chicken feet.
all right,
Hey.
then we've got traditional chicken
Yes, that's we call it hard body chicken.
and the bunny chow thing.
The bunny chows,
Yeah,
yes.
what is it about?
Okay, so bunny chow, we take it's a full loaf of bread that is not sliced.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and then you cut it in half, and then you cut it in half again, so it's a quarter.
All right.
And then you take out the inside of the bread. You fill it up with either your mince or chips with paloni
Wow.
and a bit of achar. So those are the things that you can play around with.
Did you come with any one of those?
Ah, I came straight from home.
Because like when you put that description, like
You feel for it.
it's right here in
You
my
must
throat.
come to Neh. You must come to Club
I'll
Neh.
definitely
You
do.
must
I'll
come.
definitely do.
Yeah.
And this quarter thing,
That's what we call it. It's called quarter.
and pig trotters or pig trotters.
Yes, your
Okay.
trotters are your cow's heels and pork heels.
Okay, and
Yes.
we also have this cup. What's this cup? It says
That is
KOP.
your cow's head.
Yes.
So we call it inyama yentloko.
All right.
Yes, so a lot of people, you know what? I've been to the place where they cut it and they take it out, because you just see a head when you buy it, and they cut it out, and there's a lot of meat that comes out of a cow's head, and we call it inyama yentloko. That is also a popular dish at a Neh restaurant.
Wow. And then the mutton curry.
Those are our dishes.
Okay.
Those are your our stewing dishes. So you get your
Alright.
chicken stew, your mutton curry.
Okay.
And we don't limit, because we also open for events.
Okay.
We don't limit our menu.
Okay.
Like for instance, when FMB came on board, they were there from the morning until the evening.
Yes.
And they had their specifics in terms of what they
want to eat and all that.
and we provide as per event needs.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's take it there. Like, let's say for example, if I want to put up an event or something, all right, then I
Yes.
come to Leah
Yes.
Club Neh.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So I give you a brief.
Yes.
All right. Obviously, you've got a venue already.
Yes.
So what you're saying that, so do you also cater for you take responsibility for the foods and the drinks and every other thing, the conference or?
Yes, I make sure I
yeah.
cater for everything, and from you can give me your specs, your specifications in terms of what you would like, and we
Alright.
can look at it. You can inform me about your budget. We can also look at that. I
Okay.
try by all means to ensure, because most of the businesses that come through for venue hire, they small businesses.
Alright.
And like for instance, I had a CD launch, and it was CD launch. It was a fresh young boy that just started doing hip hop.
Okay.
And he said, listen, we have a very small budget, and this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. Then I worked around it, and I said, okay, I know that you're starting up. Let's do this. Chicken wings and chips. Let's rather do that, and then I can give it to you at this price. And he was
Okay.
happy about that, and that's what we did for the night. We also having a book launch now that's happening next month. Very fresh young girl. She also is struggling financially. So sometimes I do waive the fee
Okay.
because of I understand what it feels like to start up, and not everyone is willing to support you.
So what you're saying is that, starting from the FMBs and the APSOs and the gold mines and all that,
Yes.
you also create a room and a space for startups.
For startups, yes.
Startups, like real startups.
Real startups,
like
yes.
a local city lunch,
Yes.
like a local conference, local
Conference,
gigs,
yes.
even as far as to personal parties and all that.
Yes.
So you create a space for all of those
I
people
created space for all of that.
to accommodate them as well.
Yes.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So I'm also part of a charity group in Alexandra
Okay.
that we wanting to make a difference in people's lives. We want to change the perspective of
the
the
Alexandra
Alexandra community, as
Okay.
opposed to being having opinions about it. Let's do something about it. And I have offered my space to
Okay.
have meetings for the charity club.
Wow.
I've offered my space to have meetings for the last week. We had a book club. They came and I offered them. We've got VIP rooms, 3 VIP rooms where you can have your private functions. Sometimes we have your baby showers, your bridal showers. Sometimes it's just a business meeting. We've got a boardroom as well.
Wow, that's coming to. Let me put it as a question to you before you stay ahead of me. This is my show.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm getting excited. You can see how passionate I am. You can see how passionate I
Yes,
am about the place.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So, Club Neh, all right? Yeah, just like continue.
Yes.
Give us the picture, what it looks like.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a 3-story.
Okay.
At the bottom is the Club Neh, as it's popularly known.
All right.
And then the middle part is your restaurant. That is where now the furnishings and the furniture is absolutely classy and beautiful.
Wow.
So it's for your mature crowd.
Wow.
And for people that want to come and have watch a live performance or a poet or anything like that. It's very laid back and relaxed. It's got a lounge feeling
Okay.
at the bottom, and then you in the middle, and then you get your upper floor.
Okay.
The upper floor consists of 3 VIP rooms,
All right.
also with fully furnished with beautiful furniture. And then you get a boardroom that also can sit about 15 people in.
Wow.
Yeah, and there's aircon. There's I think another issue that comes to party most of the time would be, if in Alex, the security, how do you go about it? The security, we've got bouncers that come in, making sure that in the upper level and the lower level that people are safe.
Okay.
So we make sure that safety is a priority.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I think it must be a beautiful place.
It is beautiful.
Wonderful. Okay. Let's say you've got an artist.
Okay.
All right? Maybe it's national artists or it's international artists.
Yes.
Coming to perform in
Okay.
South Africa.
Yes.
Yeah, does Club Neh provide us kind of environment where artists like let me say made artists can actually come to perform?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Take us through that aspect. How artists can actually come to perform and all that in that place.
Okay, so I've got my details on Facebook
All right.
under Leah Motswiri, and we have a Twitter account. It's called Club Neh.
Okay.
And then we also have a website. It's www.nehrestaurant.com.
Okay.
And we have forged relationships with the South African police for Bramley and Alexandra to
Okay.
ensure that they encircle the place, every 30 minutes or so, just to make sure that
The safety.
it's safe and people
Okay.
are safe to be there. And because we know how notorious Alexandra is, so we
Okay.
want to create an environment where people feel safe to be. Yeah.
And I can also understand that your Club Neh, you also offer maybe spaces for workshops and all that. It could be educational workshops.
Yes.
Yes.
So we offer, like I'm saying, we offer you. My first big event was with F&B, which was an entrepreneurs summit.
Okay.
So we've had a fashion show. We have had a business summit.
Okay.
So anything that is out of the norm, I want Neh to be be known as a place of transformation.
Okay.
A place where everyone can go.
All right.
And and approach me and say, this is what I want to do. I've got someone that came to me last week. They from the CETA, and they wanting to groom the youth.
Okay.
They want to groom the youth to get them ready for the workplace.
Okay.
So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they can do that. I had Alex TV come through to me. They want to shoot their business
programs and
the
stuff.
programs. Yes, it's a business program, sports program, and all of that. That's that they can shoot that on more quieter days.
good.
But yes, it is an open platform
Okay.
that we are creating. We are making sure that people's lives are transformed.
Okay.
You can't be next to Alexandra and not provide a place where people
Can be that's accessible. And all
yes,
that,
that's
yeah.
accessible. People can grow.
Exactly.
And I also take the young, the youth from high schools, and I give them the training on waitressing. They
Okay.
also get to, especially the child-headed households.
Okay.
They can make their own tips,
So
and
this is
that
your
also.
this is your own program.
That
now.
is my own thing that I'm doing.
So it's nice to know that even Club Neh has opportunity for workshops and seminars where people can actually go through trainings and all that.
Yes.
So their training organizers and sponsors and all that, you know right now that at Club Neh restaurant you've got a food, you've got a space to learn, you've got the materials and everything and the spotlight. Club
Right
Neh, the
there.
right place
Right
to be.
there.
You know.
Yes.
All right. Leah, come on, man. This can actually go on like